Made it to the top. You can see the view from up here. Took more than 200 years to complete all of this. I can't even imagine how they completed this or how they would have the time and the energy to do all of this. This is insanely detailed. It's the first cave I've seen as well, where you can actually see the patterns and the paintings still left inside. You can see the intricate detail he went into carving it all out. It's beautiful. My first day in Aurangabad. I'm gonna go out to explore a fort, so you can come with me. We've just got to the fort. It took about 30 minutes to drive from the centre. We're gonna go in and explore. There's quite a few people here, but it's not too busy outside, considering it's a weekend. So when you first enter the fort, there's this big open space with all of the cannons. All these different types of cannons around here. And then it shows you where they're from on the wall. So many different types, big ones, small ones, really thin ones. There's a massive one right in the middle of this courtyard. We've got all of these spikes along the doors and the entrance to the fort. And recently learned from a Coral Rocks video that these spikes were used to stop elephants from breaking down the doors. They used to get intoxicated elephants and try and break down the doors to the fort. So that's what these spikes were for. I'm assuming they were way sharper back in the day though. They're kind of just round little stumps now. You see, the forts and castles always have these massive doors, and I always wonder, like, why do they need to be so big? Why not just have like a wall and then a little door? Like, what are they trying to get through there? If someone knows, please let me know. So we're gonna walk through further into the fort. There's a few people here, but it's not crazy busy. I thought it would be way busier because it's a Sunday, but it's actually really not that bad. This is the Saraswati step well here. The water used to be supplied by pipelines from a reservoir, and now it only holds rainwater in there. But it's massive though, look at it. It must have held so much water when it was full. Walking through the fort now. I didn't realise how big the inside of it was. You can see it goes all the way over there. So I think it might take a long time to walk around today. This is a Chand Minar, 70.9 meters tall. A bit of Persian art constructed by the Sultan in memory of his victory over Gujarat in 1445. So we've just entered this cannon gallery, and pretty self-explanatory. So this gallery was made with the purpose of turning this fort into a tourist destination. It's taken me a long time to walk through here because there's so many people that want to take selfies with us as we're walking around, which I really don't mind, but it does take up a lot of time when there's a crowd of people and they all want to take a selfie separately. So we've been stopping to do that because I really don't mind doing it sometimes. But yeah, it's going to take me a very long time to get around this fort at this rate. One thing to bear in mind is that you can't get water inside the fort. They have a drinking water station, but the locals over there were saying it's not very hygienic. You have to get water from the front of the fort, so make sure you get it outside and bring it in. Because we didn't do that, and now we're really thirsty, so we have to walk back to the start, grab some water, and then we'll head back up. Right, we got our water, we can continue now. I don't even know if we've made it into the main fort area yet. There's this whole bit here. I'm not quite sure how big it is or how much there is to explore. This is the inside, this part of the fort. There are all these monkeys that are roaming around the fort, and they are massive. I didn't realise how big they could get. They are massive. One jumped down and it was actually a jump scare. It was about the size of a dog, just like roaming around this area, so be warned, there are monkeys around here. So yeah, if you're coming to the fort, don't bring any food with you. Probably not good to have food on you with all these monkeys around. This is the Chini Mahal. This is one of the palaces inside the fort. I'm not sure if you can see on camera, but there's so many dragonflies around here. I think this is probably the most I've ever seen in one place. They're all just swarming around. So there's this point called the Menda Top. You can walk up. You're meant to be able to get a good view from there. Just about to head up there. This is the view from the top. Oh my god, it's incredible. I didn't expect to be able to see so much because it doesn't feel like we're that high up. You can also see the rest of the fort where we need to go. I think it goes all the way up there. I was assuming when we came up that this would be the top of the fort, but it's way bigger than I expected. So this is the dark passage. It's got tons of twists and turns in it, which was made to confuse enemy soldiers. They wouldn't know who they were attacking and they'd end up attacking their own army. It's quite dark and creepy in here. I think I can hear bats as well. We are almost at the top now. You can see where we came from. So we went through the dark passage, but there are steps nowadays that lead up to here. But in the olden days, the passage was the only way to get through. So people would have to go through there if they wanted to get up to the top of the fort. You can also see the moat that surrounds the fort. Apparently it used to be full of crocodiles. Now it's just full of water bottles. I didn't realise how many stairs were going to be involved today. Still so tired from doing the Harry Howe Fort trek. And my legs are aching now. But we are so nearly at the top. Obviously going to make it up there. I wasn't expecting to have to do this much exercise today. There is this Ganesha temple close to the top. Obviously just stopped in there because it's Ganesh Chaturthi is going on right now. It is really hot outside today as well. Oh, wasn't expecting it to be this warm. God, we finally made it to the top. Here is the view from the top of the fort. So that is actually a long walk to get up to the top of the fort. It's nearly 5 o'clock now and the fort closes at 6, so we're on our way down. It took the best part of one day. Ooh. It took the best part of one day to get all the way to the top and explore the whole fort. Okay, so we've made it back to the room. That was a really long day. We spent hours walking around that fort. I thought the fort was really good. I forgot to say it's only 300 rupees to enter per person for a foreigner. I think it's about 25 for Indians. Yeah, you could definitely spend a whole day there. I would recommend bringing some water, making sure you get food beforehand if you're going to be there for a long time. It's going to be the end of our day today and I will see you tomorrow. Alright, it's day 2 and we've just made our way up to Ellora Caves. We've just parked up and we're about to go in now. We just bought our token to get in. 600 rupees per person for a foreigner, or 40 rupees if you're Indian. That's crazy expensive. It's the entrance to the caves, just walking through now. You got to scan your token and then you got to keep it with you. But then if you lose it, it's 100 rupees. So I don't know why they make you keep it on you for the whole of the trip. I'm assuming this is the main cave because it's right by the entrance. This is cave 16 we're going into first. It's a monolithic rock-cut temple, which means that it was cut from just one rock. This is all just the same rock, which is crazy. I don't know how they didn't, mess it up and then have to start again or something. And it took more than 200 years to complete all of this. So this is inside cave 16. That's insanely large. Cave 16 is also known as the Kailasa temple. This whole complex here is dedicated to Shiva. It is the biggest and the most complex temple in the whole of this cave complex. It even includes episodes from the Mahabharata. It's so insanely well made and detailed. This one was made during the 8th century. I think we got a sculpture of Brahma here. You can kind of tell because of the multiple faces on Brahma. Here is a Shiva temple inside the main cave. You can kind of see on some of the carvings where they used to be painted. I think they all used to be painted different colours, and nowadays it's all washed away. So we're on top of the main structure now, in the middle of this cave. And on top there's so many little temples just all around, and there's a Josh over there doing some research. It's a shame that people just deface any monument that's put up anywhere. I don't know what the urge is to write your name in all of these things, but no matter where you go, no matter what country you're in, or how long ago you go back, people just want to write their names. Okay, we've just come out of cave 16. I think we were in there for about an hour maybe more than an hour. You can spend so long walking around there, it's so big. I think there's at least 30 caves here to explore, so we kind of have to move on. See something else now. Just gonna walk to a different cave and explore some more of this area. Sat on top of the cave 16 now. Just gives you another perspective of how large this cave is. And this is just one of them. This is one of like 34 or something. It's insane. Even the buildings at the top, just so intricately carved. They really are just beautiful from head to toe, like from top to bottom. There's been so much work put into these temples. So we've come up to cave 14 now. It's a lot smaller than the other cave. Obviously, I think that was the biggest one out of all of them. It's still got such intricate carvings inside. Like the detail is still the same level, even in this smaller cave. So you're at caves number 1 through to 8 now. And they even have this waterfall going over the caves, which is pretty cool. I think this is cave number 6, maybe? They're all kind of joined together from 1 to 8. There's a big Buddha statue in the middle of this one. All of these caves kind of worship a different deity, and they're all for different religions. There's Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, which is really cool that they are all kind of in the same complex, but they're all different at the same time. There's all of these little holes in here, and I don't really know what they're for, because I thought it was going to be like a big tunnel, but it's actually just like square rooms with nothing inside. So if anyone knows what that was for, let me know. A little update, I did find out that these rooms were meditation rooms for the monks that used to live in the monastery. This is cave number 5, and this is a big Buddhist monastery. There's a big statue of Buddha in the middle, and he's being protected on either side by 2 Bodhisattvas who protect him whilst he's in worship. There's a little PSA, be careful walking along this bit. When it gets wet, it gets slippery, and just slipped up. It's not funny, it was scary, but it is also quite funny. Sometimes as I'm walking around, I forget that they're literally just made out of a cave, until you look up and you see what they looked like when they first started, and how it's gone from being just a bit of rock to being all these intricate temples. So this cave too was also a Buddhist monastery from the 8th century. Oh my god, there's bats in there. That's quite creepy actually. So this is cave 10. We're about to go inside. It's another Buddhist monastery, shaped so that it reverberates while you're singing, and when you make the Om noise, you can hear it go around and come back to you. Put an example here. Josh's gonna give it a go. You can walk upstairs to the top of cave 10, which is where we are now. Very beautiful on the outside. I hear more bats inside this cave. Oh my god, I can see them flying around. No, we've just come out of one of the caves and it's pouring down with rain. Okay, so we have completed caves 1 to 16 so far, and it's 4:30 in the afternoon. This place closes at 6 o'clock, so we've got an hour and a half left to do caves 16 to 34. The rain doesn't seem to be stopping, so I think we are just gonna have to go for it and get soaking wet. Made it to the other side. So this is cave 21, and this is also dedicated to Shiva. And there's a big Shiva ling right in the middle, which is a kind of symbol that represents Shiva without being an actual bust of Shiva. Here's the view from where we are now, and there's a massive waterfall over there. I don't know if this waterfall is like this in all seasons or if it's just monsoon season where it's overflowing, but it's so big. The water is just flooding everything. Look at that. We didn't get to stop in those caves because it was quite flooded due to the rain that's just happened, and it was a bit dangerous to go inside. I think people on the way down were telling us not to go inside, so we didn't see those. But we have time for maybe one more temple before we have to leave. It's about 5 to 6 now, and this place closes at 6, so we've got to be really quick, and then we're going to be leaving. So we've got one more here dedicated to Shiva. There's a Shiva ling inside there. We've got a little carving of Ganesha here inside this temple. Leaving the caves now. It's gone 6 o'clock, so they are closed. Look at all these monkeys that are just hanging around. Made it back to the bike now. I'm actually quite happy to be back at the bike because that was a long day. We were lucky to catch the sunset on the way back, and we stopped off at the Bibi Ka Maqbara to see it all lit up. We also caught a bit of a Ganesha festival going on. Okay, it's another day in Aurangabad. I forgot to film when we got home last night. Ellora Caves were amazing. Probably one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. I still can't believe it was all just cut from one rock. We spent all day there, so if you're going there, just make sure you take out the whole day. You're gonna need at least maybe 5 to 6 hours to walk around and see all the caves. We didn't see all of them, unfortunately. We didn't have time. There's a lot to explore, and if you want to see all of them, just go there early in the morning, and then you can spend as long as you want there. But 100% recommend doing it whilst you are in Maharashtra. So today we are going out to explore the Ajanta Caves, so a little bit further away. It's about a 2-hour drive from Aurangabad. So we're gonna head up there now and go and explore. So if you're driving to the caves, you have to park in the car park and then walk to the bus station, where you get a bus up to the caves, and it's 30 rupees per way for a bus ticket. Why does India love stairs? There's stairs leading to everything. I'm so tired. Alright, we can start to see the caves now. It's been quite a long journey to get up here, with getting the bus and walking. This is cave 1, it's a Buddhist monastery, and inside are some really well preserved paintings showing the Jatarka, just stories of the Buddha's life, and there's a big statue of worshipping Buddha in the middle. Cave number 2, another monastery. This is the outside. And they have to keep it covered from the sunlight because you can see all of the paintings that are still on there will just get destroyed by the sun. Walking in, I was so surprised at how detailed and well preserved these paintings are. This monastery is from the 5th century, and the artwork is still so well preserved in there. Monkeys hanging out with their babies. Here we have this cave, I'm unsure of the number of. This is a strange one because the outside is so well carved and decorated and looks really pretty. And inside there's basically nothing, it's just caves. Caves 9 and 10 are 2 worship halls from the 1st and 2nd century. Then we have cave 11, which has a few paintings in a fair state of preservation, and a Buddha in the middle with votaries lining up to pray before him. It has started to rain. I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it's raining pretty hard now. But we've got to keep moving. Good job I brought my rain jacket, because we've got to keep moving because it's 2 o'clock now and we still have a lot of caves to see. Caves 16 and 17 are the most well preserved, and in my opinion were the most impressive caves. They have paintings all over the walls and the ceiling that have just survived for so long, and they show so many stories from the Jatarka about Buddha's life and about human values. It's so impressive just to see these caves and the incredible way that they were decorated on the inside. Outside of cave 19, definitely one of the most intricately carved caves I've seen here, on the outside at least. The exterior is beautiful, and on the inside are loads of carvings of Buddha. All of the caves were really interesting in their own way, and even though they were quite similar, they're still very different. There are a few unfinished caves which they had to stop working on because of geological flaws. So these ones were just dug out and then left. I think we must be at the last caves now. Cave 26 and possibly 27. I don't know if that's part of the same one. We're gonna go inside. Didn't take as long as I thought. Some of them are way more intricately carved on the outside than the others. Inside is a grand worship hall with lots of carvings of Buddha on the wall and a big carving of a reclining Buddha. That is it, we have finished the cave. So 26, can't go into that one, it's all cordoned off. So this was the final cave. It didn't take as long as I thought it would. It took about 3 hours for us to walk around all of those caves. So it's way smaller than Ellora, but so glad that we came here. Now I guess it's time to head back home again. So I'm leaving Aurangabad today, but I can't go without seeing the Bibi Ka Maqbara, also known as the mini Taj Mahal. It was a mausoleum built in the 1600s, an exact replica of the Taj Mahal, which I actually haven't seen yet, so this will be quite interesting to visit. Just bought our tickets. It's 300 rupees for foreigner. I think it's 25 rupees for Indian locals, or Indian nationals. You get one of these little token things again, which is really weird, but I kind of like them. I guess it's quite a bit more sustainable than just using paper all the time and throwing it away. This is what you see as soon as you walk in. Luckily there's not many people here, which I imagine the Taj Mahal is super duper busy and really hard to actually get a good view of, but there's basically no one here. It's really beautiful here. As nice as it is, I think like a lot more work could go into the upkeep. You see the fountains, the little water here, it's all mossy, dirty. See that the walls kind of gone all black. They need a bit of cleaning. There's a doorway, the entrance. I imagine back when it was first built, these doors would have been so grand. Look, here it is up close. You can see all of the detail that was put into this building. It's all designed by Ellora. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. It's actually a mausoleum to Aurangzeb's wife. You see the intricate detail he went into carving it all out. It's beautiful. Here's the inside of the main structure. See, there's more empty things here that I think are meant to be fountains. I don't know if they just get filled up at a certain time, maybe more into tourist season. And you see these kind of turret buildings especially have just been left to go a bit black. Just like the Taj Mahal, it is all the same on all sides. This is a mosque built on the west side. It can hold 337 people doing prayer, but entry is prohibited. There's kind of these little garden bits as well that I didn't know was here, which is quite nice. So this side doesn't even have any water in the little fountain bit. See, even these floors that you walk across outside, I think if it was upkept a little bit better, if moss was taken away, some of the grass removed, just from these bits, it would look so nice, because you can tell there's a lovely brick pattern underneath here. It would look gorgeous with all of these paths running through the outside if it was just maintained a little bit better. Right, we are out of Bibi Ka Maqbara now. That was a quick little walk around, didn't take long in there at all. I'm going to go back to the hotel and then I will share my final thoughts on Aurangabad and everything I've got up to with you. So the first thing we did was Devgiri Fort. It's quite a walk to get all the way around the fort and get to the top, but definitely worth it. The views from there are amazing and it's just really nice to walk around as well. You definitely need at least 3 hours there, so make sure you plan it so that you've got enough time to get around the whole fort. Next thing we did was Ellora Caves, which was amazing. These caves were incredible. I still can't believe just how detailed they are and how long it took them to carve out all of these temples and monasteries. 200 years and 10 generations of people to work on them. It's crazy. 100% you need to visit if you're in Aurangabad or around this area. Ellora Caves are a must-see. It takes about 5 or 6 hours if you want to get around all of the caves, because there are 34 I think. But if you're short on time, the main caves you want to see are Cave 16, which is right by the entrance, Cave 5 and Cave 10. So they're the 3 main caves, but I would recommend just taking the whole day so you can go and see everything while you're there. So we also did Ajanta Caves. Now, I thought that maybe it would be quite similar to Ellora and, you know, you could just pick and choose one of those to go to, but they're so different. Both of the cave complexes have unique points about them. I definitely recommend going to see both of them. I don't really think you could pick or choose one or the other to go to because they're both just so incredible in their own way. Ellora had more carvings, Ajanta had more paintings that were visible on the inside. And the Ajanta caves are older. They're from the 2nd to 6th century, and Ellora's from the 6th to 8th century. It does take a bit longer to get to Ajanta, 100 kilometers, so about 2 hours outside of Aurangabad. If you're staying in the city, you're going to need a whole day to journey up there, see the caves and then come back. Although it only takes maybe 3 hours to walk around all the caves there, it does take longer to factor in the distance coming from the city and back into the city. Take a whole day if you want to go to Ajanta, so you don't have to rush around. Jumping in here quick, so I forgot to say, the main caves in Ajanta, if you're short on time, are 1, 16, 17 and 26. And the final thing that we did, the Bibi Ka Maqbara, or the mini Taj Mahal. It was really beautiful. Now, I haven't seen the Taj Mahal, so this was like a little preview for me, and I thought it was gorgeous. I loved all of the intricate carvings on the outside, the beautiful white exterior, the trees and the fountains leading up to the actual mausoleum. I think it was beautifully made. It's really nice to go and see. However, I don't want to be mean, but I do want to be honest in my opinion. It does need some more upkeep. The white walls on the outside of the mausoleum kind of had this black mold or moss growing on it. The pillars on all the other sides were kind of turning black. The fountains were either empty or quite dirty, and the garden was a little bit overgrown. It's still lovely to go and see, and I'm really glad that I went to see it, but it's a shame because for such a beautiful place, it's just lacking a bit of upkeep. I think if those few things were kept on top of, it would be so much prettier, and it would just be overall a better experience for people who are going there and paying to see it. Okay, so I am leaving Aurangabad now. It's been lovely being here, but we've got to move on to our next adventure. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. Check out some of my other videos on my channel and subscribe to see more of my content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you later.